We have wajib, mustahil, and jaiz. So we spoke about the wajib, the attributes that are wajib, all the 20 attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then we spoke about the impossibilities, the mustahil. So now is the third part that the author speaks about the jaiz. So that is why it is crucial for us to understand ahkamul aql. So books of Aqidah Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, most of our books go through these categories. Yani to speak about what is wajib for Allah, what is mustahil for Allah, and what is jaiz for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you find books nowadays written about our ulama. If you read the books of Aqidah Sanusiyah, the books of even Jawhara Tawheed, for example, you read Kharida Bahiyya, yani it is about the same sequence to learn about the categories of the ahkamul aql and such. It is impossible for Allah to either do or leave every possible thing. Now, this is the first thing. This is like an introduction. First, we have to understand what is the meaning of jaiz. In the first place, we have to understand jaiz meaning something that can accept existence or non-existence. This is the meaning of jaiz. Something can accept existence or non-existence. So it is possible for Allah to either do or leave every possible thing. Yani to do or leave. To do or leave. Allah has the ability. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the ability to bring something from non-existence to existence, or to bring something from existence to non-existence. As long as it is something that is possible. As what I mentioned in the previous classes, that the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is only linked to the possibilities, to the mumkin or to the jaiz. It is permissible for him to do or leave off every possible thing. So this is important for us to understand that that the qudra of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is only related to the jaiz. It is not any related to the wajib, and it is not any related to the mustahil. Then he mentioned, the PDF today, I upload until here. So for those who have the book, you can refer to the book. See. Just give me some time. No, I think I just get any from the book. So inshallah we turn to page 130. The author mentioned and it is not permissible for him to do every possible thing all at once. Yani, it is not possible any for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to perform any all yani the mumkinat, perform any all any things any the mumkin at once. Why? Because pertaining any to all things any that are mumkin, that this is something any that had not have an ending, and this itself any it is impossible. So that is why impossibilities is not any related any to the qudra of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, as what we mentioned last, we spoke about infinite regression, that something any that doesn't have any big what you call it is continuous, it is impossible. Likewise, any something any that is never ending is also yani impossible to be placed into existence at once. Here we are speaking not about the mumkin only, but about bringing any of the mumkin into existence at once, meaning at one go. This is within any the impossibilities and has no relation to the qudra of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is why the author mentioned it is not permissible for him to do every possible thing all at once, because there is no end to contingent possibilities. Now, for those who have the book, underline any this statement. There is no end to contingent possibilities. So possibilities any are many, and there is no end any to it. The qudra of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, it is related any to all possibilities, but to say that to bring all these possibilities at once, now this itself any is what you call it within impossibilities. Everything the rational mind can conceive as possible is possible. So this is the definition yani, of something any that is possible. Something any that we can understand, that can accept, our mind and it can understand that this can accept existence, or it does not yet. It can also accept non-existence. This is any within what is possible. If all possibilities were done at once, it will lead to an unending void. Yani, as what I mentioned earlier, that the mumkin, when comes to the mumkin, if the mumkin were to be brought all at once, then it will be something that will never end. That something that will never end, because any mumkin is many, all within the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is something that will never end. If we were to say to bring it all at once, and there is a contradiction, there will be a contradiction, and that is impossible. That is impossible. Included in the possible is the sending of the messengers alayhimus salam. Yani from the possibilities is the sending of prophets and messengers to human beings. Type yani in aqidah we say that the sending of prophets and messengers, it is from something that is jaiz. It is from the jaiz. What is the meaning and it is from the jaiz? Yani it means that it's not any from something that is wajib upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent any messengers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent any messengers, prophets and messengers. I will bring any the text of one. I will just put this for the others any to follow, for those any who doesn't have any the book. But just give me 1 minute. I will bring it, and inshallah. Okay, now we take a look at this. That's what I mentioned earlier, and it is not any permissible for him to do every possible thing all at once, because there is no end to contingent possibilities. Okay. There is no end any to contingent possibilities. Let me shift this thing. But ala kulli hal, everything the rational mind can conceive as possible, everything the rational mind can conceive as possible is possible. If all possibilities were done at once, it will lead to an unending void, and that is impossible. Included in the possible is the sending of messengers. This is what we are mentioning just now. It is neither obligatory, meaning it is not obligatory upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is possible for Allah, meaning Allah can bring prophets and messengers, can send prophets and messengers into human beings, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can choose not to send any prophets and messengers into human beings. The sending any of prophets and messengers is a mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is not an obligation. It is not an obligation upon Allah. Contrary to the view of the Mu'tazilah, because in the Mu'tazilah, they say that it is wajib upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send prophets and messengers. But Ahlul Sunnah mentioned that it is from the mumkinat, from the jaizat, from the possibilities, that Allah can choose not to send prophets and messengers, and nothing can make things obligatory upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, it is impossible. No, it is impossible. It is not any impossible for Allah to bring prophets and messengers. So it is from the possibilities. Contrary to the view of the Brahmins. Brahmins is basically the Hindus. And the Sumaniya is one of the sect, religious sect, that carries the same view, that it is impossible for God to send prophets and messengers. Nor it is acquired. Acquired meaning a person who is not a prophet, but he works towards prophethood. This is impossible. In Islam, when we say prophets and messengers, they are chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We do not say, for example, if you are pious and you make effort on taqwa in iman, that one day, inshallah, you become a prophet. They say impossible. Contrary to the view of the philosophers. Last time the philosophers they say that if a person is good and doing any good things, then he can become a prophet. Nor it is intrinsic. Contrary to the view of the Karamiyya. Karamiyya, they believe that prophets and messengers, they themselves possess this characteristic of prophethood within them. This is a sect within the Muslims. The Brahmins and the philosophers are misguided. And misguided here meaning they are disbelievers. They are not considered to be believers in Islam. And the Mu'tazilah and Karamiyya are innovators, Ahlul Bid'ah. Ahlul Bid'ah are basically innovators, but they are still within the the Islamic faith. The belief of Ahlul Sunnah is that prophecy and messengership are both bounties from Allah. That it is a mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to human beings, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent any prophets and messengers. Included in that, what is possible is the reward given to the obedient, and the punishment allotted to the disobedient. This is also within the possibilities, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards you for your obedience and punish someone for their disobedience. It is within the possibilities. It is not obligatory upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give rewards to those who obey Him, and it is not obligatory for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to punish those who disobey Him. But giving the rewards to those who obeys Him is possible. Meaning Allah can choose not to give. This is the meaning possible. Meaning it is not something that is obligatory upon Allah, that He can choose not to give you rewards, even though you make ibadah to Him. This is an example. Or likewise pertaining to punishment, that there are people who disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but Allah might not punish them. This goes back into the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In addition to this, it is also possible to see Allah. This the meaning of ru'ya. In the Arabic language, we call it ru'yatullah, to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The believers shall see Him without Him there being a direction. When we speak about we will see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yawm al-qiyamah, as what Allah mentioned in the Quran, wujuhun yawma